What's up, my dude? Just wanted to come here and do a little race recap on the Indianapolis 2 Supercross 250 main event. I know some of you guys have been enjoying some of these real-life Supercross race recap videos here. So, yeah, this has to be one of the craziest, weirdest races, not for what happened in the race, but not for what they, actually did in the race itself, but like just everything else around the race, right? If you guys didn't know about it or didn't watch this race or whatever, there was all kinds of stuff that happened. So basically what happened was, first of all, they let a dude that didn't even race in the LCQ into the main event, Mitchell Oldenburg. He did not even race. He did not even race in the LCQ, bro. I mean, I just don't... That right there just blows my mind. So if you guys don't know what happened, basically, he crashed in his heat race. Pretty gnarly ass crash, flipped over the bars. Somehow he was still okay, right? Lines up to race the LCQ. They tell him that his bike is a different frame because they had to change the engine or whatever because his bike locked up, and they tried to make the claim that, it was like a whole different bike or something like that, basically, right? A whole different frame. So they pulled him off the start line of the LCQ and just didn't let him race. And then apparently afterwards, somehow they realized that was a mistake on their end. Somehow. I have no idea how that happened. Somehow they just totally made a mistake with that, and they were like, oh, we feel bad about pulling you off the start line of the LCQ, so we're just going to put you right into the main event. So they just threw him into the main event without even racing the LCQ. Like, trust me, I get it. Mitchell Oldenburg's probably a top 5 dude, at least a top 10 dude, so he probably would have made it into that main event through the LCQ anyways, but that's completely besides the point. Like, dog, that's insane. How can you just let somebody in that didn't even race, regardless of whether or not AMA made a wrong decision, didn't let him race it, or whatever the case may be, right? You can't just let somebody in that didn't even race the damn LCQ. That's not fair to anybody in the LCQ. It's just like, you can't do that type of shit, man. You just can't. So basically what happened is Jett Lawrence crashed in his, that was another part to this whole race. Jett Lawrence crashing into the tough blocks that were in a weird position, and then they never put the tough block back after Jett Lawrence wrecked into it, like it shouldn't have been there. That was kind of bizarre. I'm not really sure what the deal was with that, but it was kind of like coming out of a jump out of a corner on the landing of the jump. That's what Jett Lawrence wrecked on and hurt herself. And I never saw that tough block there the rest of the night, so they just totally had it moved. But either way, my point being was, Jett Lawrence lines up to race in the main event, right? And then he just decides he's too hurt and he doesn't want to race in it. So basically Mitchell Oldenburg just took his spot, but they were going to let Mitchell Oldenburg race anyways. Even if Jett Lawrence was going to race, he was going to line up 23rd on the gate. So he was going to be like second row on the gate. Like, what the hell? What the hell even is that, AMA? Like, first of all, just don't make that kind of a mistake to begin with. Make sure if you're going to pull somebody off the line, you damn well 100% for sure know that they need to be pulled off the line before, an LCQ or something like that. You cannot be making those kind of mistakes, because then trying to rectify the mistake is like just as bad as making the mistake, because now you're letting him in something he shouldn't even necessarily be in, because he didn't even race in the LCQ, right? So it's just silly as hell. I don't know what they were doing with that. Then on top of all that, they didn't even wave a white flag, so they just threw out the checkered flag when they were supposed to throw out the white flag, so somehow magically they just didn't even run the last lap that they were supposed to run in the race. Not sure what the heck happened there. They had all kinds of weird shit like this going on through the night. So that happened, and, the Ricky and the other dude, welcome back to Monster Supercross Energy Cross Monster. I can't even jack it up as much as he did. What did he even say? He said Monster Cross Energy Super, like, I don't even know what he said at this point, but either way, that was a goof and a gaff. But, So I can't even mess it up even trying as much as he did. But either way, so they were on there talking about that, like, oh, here they go, coming around for the last lap. They're going to be getting the white flag, and then boom, it was the checkered flag. And they were confused, and everybody watching it was confused. I don't know what on earth. I don't know if that technically really was the last lap that it should have been, or it wasn't, you know, if they had a mistake, or if that was just like okay, they didn't actually get to the line when the minutes were at a certain point. That's one reason why I absolutely hate minutes in Supercross racing. You know, the whole 20 minutes plus a lap type bullshit. I feel like that's what made motocross something cool and special and kind of different from Supercross. I have no idea why the AMA decided to bring that over into Supercross. It was so simple. 20 laps for the 450 main event, 15 laps for the 250 main event. That is so much more like, you know, understandable to the newcomer watching Supercross on TV. It's just so silly to me that they wouldn't have continued to do that. But now it's really complicated because now I don't know, you know, maybe that was like right up to the line, right on the minute where they could have had 2 laps left or 1 lap left. And then so it like confused everybody. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but either way, that another little issue there. I mean, it was like, good Lord Almighty. So either way, yeah, crazy 250 race. Nichols whooped their ass. You know, I thought Nichols was really good like 2 or 3 years ago. Really, really good. And I was thinking, okay, this dude's probably going to be the champ pretty soon. Then he had some issues, but now he's getting back. Like, straight up, Nichols is the fastest dude out there right now. Straight up. Like, if Nichols gets a start, Colt Nichols gets a start, he can run with any of them boys in that 250 class, period. Straight up. Like, he's kind of reminding me of, like, some of those real fast boys on that Yamaha 250, like when Cooper Webb was on it, you know, I mean, just absolutely hauling ass, not making any mistakes. The only kind of mistake he would make is getting somewhat of a mid-pack start or something, you know. He's not going to have some big crash, like he's totally in control of the bike, hauling ass. Almost reminds me of James Stewart a little bit. I don't know if that's the boots that kind of look like a Nike tennis shoe or what it is, but he looks really cool on the bike, looks sick. But he's hauling ass. There ain't no doubt about it. But obviously Christian Craig's fast, but you put them side by side, and I just don't think Craig's got the juice. He ain't got the juice like that, like especially not towards the end of the race, you know. Fortner crashes every other heat race. Lawrence is having some mistakes, quite a bit more mistakes now, so we'll see if he can kind of pull. You know, Lawrence, he finished first in his LCQ, but he was kind of riding slow, and then I guess they thought that it wasn't worth racing the main event because he was already kind of back a little bit in the points, and they didn't want to risk a further injury, which was probably a smart decision, to be honest. Yeah, you always want to race, try to get as many points as you can, but like if you're not going to get better than a 10th, it's kind of, and you know, you might injure yourself worse. It's kind of a, kind of one of those things. But Lawrence did actually post something after the race saying that he is going to try to come back for this next race coming up this Saturday. So he's not just like, going to just quit Supercross just because, it's going to have to be like a legit injury out of that for him to do that. But either way, man, that's about the recap on it. Was like Mosman, did he get second or something? I'm not really too sure on that. Amen, Doug. You know what I'm saying? Not really too sure on that. Yeah. But weird tough block situation for Lawrence. Let's hope he can come back. And I think Nichols got this shit in the bag, bro. I think he's got it in the bag. But either way, that's kind of my recap of the race. And we'll be back soon. Appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.